So recently I started playing the game The Finals and I discovered there's a backstep.
Hey, hey, I've seen this one. I've seen this one. This is a classic.
You are right, backstabbing is a mechanic you find in a 10-year-old game called Team Fortress. Within this 10-year-old game there's also a 10-year-old martial art called trickstabbing, and my question is, can you bring this martial art to the finals? So if you don't know what a trick stab is, I explain it to you very fast. A trick stab is a stab to the back of the enemy while he's facing you head on. The most known trick stab is called the Matador stab, which is basically just a bait to the one side and a strafe to the other side, which gives you a free backstab. The big question is, can you use this trick stab made in Team Fortress actually in the finals? Let's find out. The answer is a big yes. However, I would adjust my movement a little bit. In Team Fortress, the movement path you would take is normally something like this. Step to the right and strafe to the left. But in the finals, I would change this more to something like a little bit to the right and then fast to the left with a high movement speed in the finals. The next big trick step is called the circus step. It works by walking around in circles.
I can oppose at vault 2.
Again, I would say it works. Here's another example of me circus stepping. And here's even a third example of me trying to circus step. So these were only 2 trick steps so far, but there are so many more in Team Fortress, and here's the next trick step called the corner step. It uses the corner to get a free backstep. I've prepared another clip for you.
The Kingfisher
Just
bursting
watch.
into vault 2.
And it's possible. There's a big problem with trick stepping in the finals. The reason is trick stepping was invented for a short range combat style. So this means whenever you're facing someone with a rifle, trick steps will not work properly. So does this mean that
Over 4,000 years.
of trick stepping were all for nothing? I think not. If you get lost in the woods and don't know the right way, you go back to the roots where it all started. If you go from here to the back of someone, there is like a lot of time in which he can turn around or just kill you. What do we do to reduce the time to get to the back? There are 2 things. The first thing is you need to get the enemy to come to you. So the time you need to go to the back is halved. Another way to get faster to the back of your enemy is if you can make your enemy turn around so that he exposes your back right in front of you and you don't even need to go around. So let's start with the lesser known trick step called the U-turn step. The U-turn step works in a way where you only get a location advantage, you don't get a rotation advantage. It works by understanding lag compensation. So the scenario I made here is an escaping movement. The enemy is the red one, I'm the blue one, and from the enemy's perspective I'm way closer to him than from my perspective. So, but what this means is if I now turn around on the enemy's perspective, I haven't turned around yet, so the enemy will still move further. So the enemy will still move towards my old spot, but on my perspective, I have already turned around. So if the enemy is now stopping, on my perspective, he will still move forward, which gives me the possibility of a free backstep. Does this solve our trick step crisis? No, but when I tried the U-turn step in the finals, I found something interesting. There's absolutely no need for a U-turn, but let me explain it. If there's only contradicting movement, me and my enemy see each other from the same distance. If the enemy is now stopping, he will still move a little bit towards me, but this is not enough to make a backstep in Team Fortress. But the finals is a different game, and in the finals, the movement speed is way faster. So if we now create the same situation with contradicting movement, but with higher movement speed, we see again we have the same distance from each other, but this time stopping movement allows me to get a free backstep. There is a special ability in Team Fortress that gives you the speed for the speed step, but you usually don't do that. In the finals there is a special ability called the dash, and it gives us so much movement speed that I don't even need the enemy to come to me. It's just broke. Since the enemy's rotation is always lagging 2 times in the past, you will always get a free backstep by dashing behind him. Let's look at the first example. As you can see, I bam, free backstep. To be honest, I think that the speed stamp is combined with the dash is the most broken mechanic right now. Backstabbing has never been this good in the final. So my tip for you is, even if you miscalculate the distance, you can make 2 additional dashes and then you are at the perfect distance for a backstep. I could show you speed steps the whole day. Do I think that the speed step is perfect in the current state? No. Well, let me explain it. Once again, we are looking at Team Fortress. The conditions of a backstep must only be met at the very first frame of the backstep. After that you can run and turn away, which will place you 5 meters further away from the backstep than you usually would. So what you just saw is the advanced version of the speed step, which is much better than the first version, because it doesn't depend on the distance from which you start. You can do it from any distance. Let's move on to the next trick step in Team Fortress. I call it the door step. It's simple. You use a door and step. The door step works perfectly fine. Are you still with me? Because we only reach halftime with our trick step. Every trick step we focused on so far worked on the X and Y axis, which means we always moved on the ground. The next half of the trick steps will focus on moving on the Z axis. The reason for this is that you can get a free backstep from any position you like if you just move a millimeter on his top. If he turns around, you can just move another millimeter and you still get a backstep. The most known trick step on the Z-axis is the stair step. At first I was worried that you cannot perform the stair step in the finals, simply because you cannot crouch while jumping, which is a necessary condition in Team Fortress. But we are lucky. Turns out that we do not need to crouch to get a backstep. I tested the stair step in game and it works perfectly. In Team Fortress there's also the understeps, which uses to your advantage that the enemy cannot move while he is in the air, but you can because you are on the ground. Since the finals is a stair simulator, it also works very great. The last trick step I want to show you is the leap step. The leap step also works perfectly fine. the leap step works even better than before just because you have jump pads and dash in the air. We finally reach the end of my video. The point of this video is, if you use every trick step I just showed you, you will be 10 years ahead of everyone else. And you will be able to clutch away 6 people, as you will see in the following clip.